Hey guys, it's Aaron. Thanks for coming back. Today I would like to keep it light in mood, possibly not intensity. So that means we are going to listen to see what's going on with our bodies. Okay? Options are your friends. You want to go on your own little adventure, you do that. Okay? We're going to find our way down onto our mat. I encourage you to find your way onto your back because that's where we're going to end up starting. But if you want to just join me in a seated position for a few moments, let's allow ourselves to get settled, okay? So let's just take the next few moments and figure out what's going on. You know, maybe today is just one of those active recovery days. That's amazing. Maybe this is the end of a fun workout. You're just looking for a little bit of time to quiet down, get some stretches in. Awesome. But the next hour is yours. I'll be here, chatting, and you are welcome to follow or to just take inspiration from. And ultimately, kind of walk your own path here. So as we breathe, relax, perhaps we can take note of what brought us here. Or what allowed us or enabled us to find our way here. And in these quiet moments, is there anything that we can let go of? As we settle into our natural breathing, that natural rhythm, well, perhaps we can adjust the intent just a bit. We can start to deepen our breathing and allow a little life and energy and movement to come into the body. Small movements can return, a gentle shift of weight, maybe fingers or toes. Give yourself the next few breaths, few moments here to get yourself organized and settled on your backs. So if, like me, you haven't found your way there yet, let's make that transition. Or if you're already there, maybe some larger stretches overhead or wide, or just enjoying the space around you. Let's draw our knees into our chest. A little rock side to side, up and down. And let's breathe and get our tailbone to contact the mat. And perhaps we can get our shoulders down as well. And just play with your legs for a moment here. Maybe squeezing them in, or draw circles with those knees. Figure eights. Then allow the soles of the feet to find their way down towards the ground. Let's press into our heels, roll up and down through a few bridges. And so firing through our glutes, we lift, we surge, and then melting vertebrae by vertebrae back down to the mat. Trying again. Inhale, we peel and lift. Then exhale, we lower. Up and down. How about one more time? Then return, tailbone to the ground. Let's relax and enjoy kind of home base. We'll come back here a few times. On your next inhale, the arms will go straight up, waking up our core. We exhale, lifting our shoulders, reach a little higher. So abs switching on here, trying to get our upper body off the ground. Take a big breath, and then let's relax. Shoulders, head, arms, home base. Rest, relax. Try again. Inhale, we reach. Exhale, we start to lift. Sending our legs forward and up on an angle here. Strong midsection now. And long legs engaged. Arms still lifting. Big breath. And then release. One more time. We know where we're going. Inhale, up. Exhale, shoulders. Inhale, send those legs, and then find the U shape with the body. Bringing fingers and toes towards each other. We're resisting temptation of holding on if we can. Can we do this just by using core strength? And then release. Soles of the feet come down, heels close to glutes. A few more of those up and down rolls. Just reopen up all of that engagement that we've just done. And when you're ready, we're going to try this one more time. So from the ground here, arms reach up. Exhale, shoulders. Inhale, legs. Exhale, pike. Let's release. Draw those knees in. Give yourself a great big squeeze here. We're going to get some momentum, come all the way up to all fours. Okay, so rock and roll. Eventually, let's bring ourselves closer to the top edge of the mat for a few rounds of cow and cat. Rounding and opening. And bring yourself through to a nice neutral position here, going right up into downward facing dog. So press into those palms, stepping our toes back a little bit, lift the hips high, then walk your legs out. Rolling around our shoulders. And if we look forward, we can see the base of the index finger firmly pressed down into the mat. If we look back, we can see those knees soften a little, try to get our tailbone to reach a little bit higher. Lunge inside our thumb. So our right leg, let's send it up And as you exhale, bring that knee forward. So the knee is going to come close to the elbow. And then we step. Landing softly, that foot just inside the thumb, drop. Left knee, untuck our left toes. We've got our length here for lunge. Checking in, little hips, little hamstrings. Pull the heart forward, big breath. And as you exhale, start sliding your hips backwards. Okay, let's lift our right toes off the mat and think of that nice long line through the underside of that leg. Come forward, lunge, inhale. And as you exhale, slide back. Let's try 2 more. Come back to the top, onto our back foot here. Move to downward facing dog. Walk, shimmy, shake. And it's the same thing with the left side. Inhale, and as you exhale, forward, landing softly. Right knees drop, right toes untuck. Negotiate and have that conversation with your body. Okay, is everything the same here? Do we need a little more support? Do you want to take a few extra breaths? If you're feeling good, it's that pull forward with the heart. Inhale and exhale, start sliding back. Maybe lift the toes. Inhale forward, exhale back. How about 2 more? Lunge, prepare, move to down dog. Let's remind ourselves of the bottom half of a flow. So come forward into your plank. And knees, or you can stay on the toes, your choice. But we lower halfway down with a controlled descent. Relaxing to the mat, pulling our heart forward with or without hands, baby cobra, before sliding back, hips to heels, child's pose. Let's come up to all fours, move to down dog, and try again. So you've got those low options where we can inhale forward through to your plank. Perhaps we stay on our toes as we lower, moving through a big back bend, upward facing dog, legs off the ground, hips high, toes under, downward facing dog. Okay, there's no rush. We're still going to explore our flows a few more times here. So choose the levels. Take as long as you need to get to whatever option and expression works for you. Okay, same lunge. Inhale, our right leg goes up. And as you exhale, it comes forward. But this time, can we stand in a lunge? So feel free to drop that knee as required. So core is on here. Those little negotiations that we know and love, trying to get our tailbone under, lifting the heart, relaxing the shoulders. Hands maybe up overhead, perhaps together, perhaps behind. Clasp and lift. Let's release the hands down to the ground here. Stay. So just a little advancement from what we've already done. Okay? Here's our lunge, pulling forward. And as you exhale, slide the hips back, start lengthening that right leg. We are pushing our left heel towards the mat as well. And so nice long lines through the legs, as tall of a line as we can manage through the spine. Inhale, slide forward, drop the hips, and then exhale, press back. Inhale, and exhale. Let's do 2 more. Come forward, move to your downward facing dog. Little walk, shimmy, shake. We'll just check in the other side. Left leg. Landing under control. Rise. Settle. Maybe drop. Maybe we're standing. Fire through the glutes. Breath up to the heart. Softness to the features of the face. And just explore. Get yourself organized so we know where this is, how we can get in and out. Releasing the hands down. Organize that lunge. Pull the heart forward. Slide the hips back, lengthen the legs. Maybe come up a bit if needed. First one nice and slow. Okay. Front knee bends, hips lower, heart still pulls. Inhale and exhale, we slide back. And then we've got 3 more. So inhale. Forward, down dog. Let's do 2 more of those little flows. So again, perhaps low options. Inhale forward. Knees down, lowering through chaturanga. Little baby cobra before sliding back to our child's pose. Move up to all 4s before finding downward facing dog. Inhale forward, stay with the low, or maintaining space in between our legs and the ground. We untuck those toes, lift through the heart. Hips go high, toes tucked under. Flows are your responsibility now. Listen to your body. Customize, add, or just skip them all together. Whatever works for you. Inhale our right leg up. Exhale comes forward. Landing softly, inhale and exhale. Let's rise. Sink a little, lift a lot, but then soften everything you can. Nice place, hanging out right here. Okay, you want to drop that back knee. Amazing, let's do it. And we're going to add our twist. So, from the left, hand can come across, wrist or forearm, and the right hand just wraps behind. Hip, low back. Perfect. Right arm, maybe we're reaching, or perhaps, because we love power, we get back up onto the ball of our back foot here. Still have that twist. Staying tall. Lots of space to breathe. Amazing. Hinge a little bit if you'd like. Maybe the elbows come across. And hands can find prayer, or just continue wrapping that right arm. Still power through that back leg. 3 breaths. Rise and back up. Right into a balance challenge here. So our right foot is going to stay. Okay, so if you're on that back knee, let's lift it up. Left knee forward and up. Hip height. So I'm just stepping back. You guys can see. Right hand, so we're twisting the opposite direction now. The right hand comes across. Left hand wraps behind. Big lift. Maybe have a look over that left shoulder, reaching to the wall behind you. Maybe we're pulling that left hand a little bit, or left leg a little bit across the center line. How's our stability? Do we need to tap down here? Work in this space? Okay, let's reset. Take it back into a lunge. Before allowing the hands to find the ground. And just step back to downward facing dog. Watch me shake. Left leg. Maybe you're feeling good. We want to stay standing this entire time. If that's you, awesome. Maybe we like starting from that low, deeper stretching position with the back knee down. As we bring the right hand across, left hand hip, wrap behind, reach behind. Hips, whether you're standing or not, can we slide a little closer to the front edge of the mat? Do you want to bring that right elbow across? Do you need to come up onto the ball of your back foot? How can we adjust to have this working for us today? Unwinding, unwinding, returning to center. Rising to your standing lunge if you're not already there. Looking lovingly at that left foot in front. Right knee propels itself forward and up. Core. And we know where balance comes from. The mat to our midsection. Left hand comes across, the twist in the opposite direction. Right hand. Play with it. 3 breaths. And then back to your lunge. Hands come down, move to down dog. 2 flows, your choice. We've got plenty of time, so follow the path. That makes sense. You know some of the other variations. If you want to add intensity, you just want to hang it in child's pose when we flow, do it. Right leg. Rise. Transitioning to that warrior 1. So, still facing forward with our right. Hips still facing the front edge of the mat. Back heel angles in. And then once again, we try to turn everything facing forward, just pressing the outside edge of that left foot down. Can we get a nice deep bend through our right knee? Traditional arms, of course, overhead, extended index, but maybe prayer, maybe heart, or if we're continuing that process of opening through the collar, maybe they're behind. So warrior 1, strength. Press the outside edge of your back foot down. Lower the hips a little bit. And then start to reach your heart forward. Press the outside edge of your back foot down. Lower your hips a little bit. Reach the heart forward. Follow this process. And if you find that you start lifting off of that left foot, maybe pause, take it back, and work in the space that you can maintain that connection. Hips, chest, and shoulders, all moving at the same rate towards the front edge of the mat or the wall or whatever you got in front of you. And just breathe. Finding a little bit of depth, a little bit of strength. And traditional arms, same thing. No arms, same thing, or even a little support right here. We'll pull that right hip back. I know. 3 breaths. And let's just lengthen that front leg. Lift our spine as tall as we can, still hinging forward, folding halfway down, long legs, tall spine, breath out to the crown of our head here. Take a moment. If you're happy staying, amazing. If you'd like to work a little bit lower, moving towards our nose to knee, towards. When you're ready, brace the core, lift yourself up. Now let's come onto the ball of our back foot. Here's our lunge, we know we love. Inhale and exhale the hands down to the mat. Inhale and exhale, step that foot back. Little walk, shimmy, and shake. Setting up the left side, inhale. And exhale forward. And we do this slowly and deliberately. Rising up. So figure out the lunge. Remind yourself of where we want to be. Hips, chest, shoulders facing forward here. Back, heel. So we just pivot a bit. And then there is that negotiation, trying to get as much of our body facing forward as possible. Pressing from the outside edge of that back foot, rotationally up the leg to try to get our hip closer to the front edge of the mat. Choose the arms, including behind. Lift through the heart, lower into the hips, press into that back foot, and then perhaps there's a little reach. Maybe there's a breath or two just hanging out as we then lower the hips and then reach. Lower and reach. Take support if needed. Can we get the outside edge of the foot? Grounding. Lower and reach. Choose your path. Three breaths. And then lift. Rising everything up. Still have that nice long stance, but we turn forward. Lifting through the heart. Let the body fold. Take support, resting halfway. Take a moment. How's our legs doing? Can we pull that left hip a little closer to the back of the mat? Do you want to melt a little further with the upper body? Do we need to come back? Let's rise. Sink into the front knee, move to your lunge. So coming up onto the ball of our back foot, hands find the ground, down dog. And you guessed it, two of your flows. Okay, let's change a little bit. Walking all the way to the top edge of the mat here. Let's roll up to standing. Shrug, roll, reset, and then find the length of the mat, moving into that nice wide stance. We are going to go into our dynamic side-to-side action here, allowing to get low into those hips. So this is a really good time. Hey, if you've got props handy, you want to bring a block into play, let's do that. Toes point out, natural angle. We're going to soften those knees. And in our kind of power squat, we're reminded to lift and wiggle the toes. And think of encouraging the knees towards the baby toe side of the foot. Strong core keeps us upright. Sink. Okay, so from here, hinge, forward, folding. Look for that nice tall spine. Give your legs a little shake. And then let's bend our right knee, allowing the hips to start traveling towards the right heel. Left leg stays long. Bring yourself back up. Bending our left knee. Right leg stays long. And so with the block, amazing. If we remove the block, we can still do this, just keeping the fingers down. Moving from side to side. Perhaps it's the exhales to lower and the inhales to lift. Or if you want to be even slower, make your way down, take a full breath down before lifting and going to the other side, taking a full breath. As we start that descent, if we get comfortable, knees over toes, and you want to lift the opposite toes there, but keeping the heel down, amazing. Let's do one more on each side. Bring yourself back up. And roll up to a standing position here. Shrug, roll, reset. Okay, so we're going to come back to that in a moment. Nice, comfortable, super fun wide leg squat here. Just a few moments of rest. So, toes out, knees bend, sitting deep. Really good time. If you've got a bottle of water and you'd like to take a quick rest, well, sit into your squat, have a couple sips. And I know we all are aware, anytime you're consuming water during any kind of training, small sips. And you don't want to get any gurgling or fun stuff. This is supposed to be relaxing. Little sips, and just enjoy. So just resting, about another 3 more breaths. A little shake, a little shimmy. Okay, so we're going to come back to the depth here in a moment. I like to play with a big expansive pose first. So let's bring our right foot parallel to the short edge of the mat. Okay, so it's side on. Left toes are going to point forward. Now, strong midsection, tall spine. Think of where your hips are. And then a little, I'm going to say, sassy movement. Hips are going to shift to the right. We're going to go, just like that. If you use the verbal cues, then it helps a little bit, probably. Arms open nice and wide. And so we've got hip shifting, we've got long legs. Reach forward with your left, reach. And then we're going to revolve the body, bringing left hand onto shin, right arm goes up overhead. Now this is our triangle. And we've done this lots. But today, let's think about the space that we're creating. And the triangle I want you to imagine making as big as possible is the one right here. So the underside of the body. So from where your hand touches the leg to the hip, to the shoulder, and back down. How big of a triangle can you create there? Nice tall spine, because we have to lift and to avoid compression. That right arm might be up, might just be hanging out. If you are happy floating the hand in front of or behind the leg instead, please feel free to do so. But a lot of people want to get down onto the ground. And once that happens, you can see the spine kind of rounds. We end up compressing the underside of the body. And so keeping yourself here, rolling that top shoulder back, makes this big, gets all the benefits. We also have to engage our core. Let's take 3 breaths. Maybe soften that left knee a little bit. Help bring your body upright. We're going to TikTok the feet. So, right foot parallel to the long side, left foot parallel to the short. Squeeze the hips. Yep. Sassy movement to the left. Tall spine here. Reach. Right fingers reach. Reach. Bring your arm down. A lot of people, again, are going to look to kind of stack the arms right over top of the other. But for most of us, that's going to mean a bent spine. So it is okay to have this offset in between the shoulders, because that lets us know that we are trying not to compress the underside of the body. Okay, so this is our rest of just exploring the length, making this expansive. 3 deep breaths here. Okay, hovering or not. Bring yourself back up. Turning the feet in, giving yourself a little shimmy, shake, reset. So let's turn those toes out, making the adjustments to the length of your stance that you require. We're going to sit back down. So you remember that fun little hip side to side movement that we did? Going right back. You want the support or you need it, take it. If you are feeling adventurous, you want to try doing this whole thing from standing, maybe keep hands at heart. Big lift up. We're going to straighten the left, sink into the right, maybe. Bring yourself back through center. Try to stay low. Shift left, sink. Can we think about ensuring that that standing foot, our supporting foot, is fully grounded, so especially the heel. And if we end up kind of lifting high onto it, we're probably not going to be very stable, so maybe just stay a little higher here if just you're not quite able to get down, or grab some support and work on that kind of ankle mobility. Let's just do this one last time here. Before we rise, stack yourself upright, shake, shimmy. Let's step back to the top edge of our mat. How about a nice big breath? Deep dive. Walking back to downward facing dog or float. 2 flows. Now, once we get to our downward facing dog, forward, plank, forearms, forearm plank. Great space to stay, hang out right here. Maybe we need to drop our knees, just keeping the space in between the knees and the elbows off the ground. We are feeling adventurous. Those toes tuck, But if you find your hips sag or you're really lifting here, dial it back, work for that nice straight line. Because how we're going to adjust. So let's roll onto our left arm. Right fingers reach for the sky. Or not. You need less. Left knee comes down. Okay. Underside of the body. Now, do you remember that sassy, oh yeah, we're getting technical now, that sassy hip thrust or shift that we did? Let's come back to that. Imagine there's a little fire burning underneath our hips here. We are going to lift and lower. Lift. Sound effects? Yeah. Yeah. Or just breath, whatever. Two more. Lower onto the forearms. Let's find a sphinx. Just take a real moment to rest and reset. Let those shoulders relax, let the core open. Just gonna turn on my mat so I'm still facing you. We're doing this together here. When you're ready from your sphinx, and you back up. Knees or toes as you find those forms. Shifting, rolling onto your right elbow. Elbow under shoulder, staying stacked. This helps keep us strong and aligned. Bottom knee, totally doable with this bottom knee down. Lots of support levels. Play with it. Bracing. Little burning fire. Lift. Lower. Doesn't have to be much. But that little extra activation checks in. Two more. Back to forearm plank. Then into our sphinx. Take a few breaths here. If you'd like some water, take some water. If you just want to kind of shimmy, shake, and roll it out, let's do that. So we're going to rise up to all fours. A few rounds of cow and cat. Pointer. Okay. So this means right leg is going to go back. Now I really would encourage you to flex that foot so the toes are pointing down towards the mat. This helps us maintain that internal rotation on the leg instead of kind of opening the hips. Okay, so nice level hips. If you would like that left arm to go forward, you can, but you will be on this right hand for a while, so the hand is optional. Push through the heel. Let's open wide with that right leg. Okay, if you've got left arm out, you can go wide there as well. And let's tap down with just the toes, level hips, level shoulders. If you've shifted your hips off to the side, can you zip them back? Rising back up with the right heel, so we're coming centered with the arm. Go across the body, so towards the back left corner, tap down off the mat. Now likely your hips shifted, can we again zip them back? How little movement can you make with just the hips here? So inhale up with the leg, exhale wide open tap, inhale, exhale cross over, tap. Let's do one more, just like that. And then one additional round, little change at the end. So we are going to stay at the back left. So our right hand, our left knee, and our right foot are grounding us. Left hand finds its way onto the hip and we start to turn our body to the left side. So adding a little twist. Maybe feeling a little glute squeeze and stretch there. This is an amazing space. You can make it expansive again. Setting that arm up, maybe wrapping behind. If you'd like to try that half bow pose, we bend our right and we reach for the foot with the left hand. And maybe we send that leg up. Two breaths wherever you are. Hand comes down. Reset. A few rounds. Cow, cat. Whew. Left leg. Maybe right arm, but you know you're going to be on that left hand for a while. So maybe the first couple we just keep both hands down. Push to the heel. That leg opens wide. Taps down off the mat. Stay here for a moment. Adjust. Figure out how you needed to move to get there. Come back up. Going across. Back right. Tap down. Adjust. Let's do two more with breath. And then that one final round. So inhale and exhale, wide tap. Inhale, exhale, cross tap. And stay with your left foot to the back right. Left hand. Right knee, left foot. Wrapping the arm, adding your twist, starting to work towards those stacked shoulders. Maybe expansive, maybe just hanging out right here. Perhaps we find the foot. Maybe we dial it back a bit, but let's make this ours. 3 deep breaths. Cow and cat. Okay. So let's move to a seated position. We're going to play with our hips again from this kind of seated position. If you know that low back, hips, or knees would like you to sit on something to elevate, give you that kind of larger range so you can still enjoy the stretches without having to force and strain, well then let's make that adjustment here. Okay, so we'll cross our right leg under with the left leg on top. If we can, again, the journey is getting our heel towards on top of the thigh. Maybe today, heels on the calf, or maybe that leg is crossed in front as long as the left is a little bit higher. Nice tall spine, soften those shoulders. We lean back onto the fingers just enough to be able to apply downward pressure inside our body on that left leg. So we're using our strength first. And a little bit of relaxing. If you need to adjust or reset, perhaps the heel even starts making its way closer in towards the hip if you're already on the thigh, making this a tighter seated position, maybe. Tall spine here. Right hand is going to come across on top of the knee. Left hand plants down behind us. Both hands push down. So there's that little bit of additional help for the hip. And we add a twist, and so we're looking over our left shoulder. Return. Any final adjustments you need to make, do it. Tall spine, up with the arms, big breath, hinging forward. Now, maybe small movement here. Just getting those hands onto the ground, and then we breathe to lift the heart, and to reach the heart closer to the top edge of the mat, assuming we're still facing the front there. Create as much space as possible in that low back, and that means we are actively breathing to lift and to reach up and forward. And after a few breaths of that directional kind of travel, if you are happy, starting to melt down a little bit, then maybe we can do that, depending on your hips. 5 breaths. Okay, let's reset. Maybe a few of those windshield wiper type movements just to loosen up those legs. And if you're still on your block, readjust, reset. Left leg crosses under, right leg crosses up and over. Again, reminder, side to side might be different, so heel on thigh, amazing. Heel on calf, amazing. Heel on the ground, in front, just in our expression of crossed legs. Perfect. Make this yours, then lean back. Okay, remember, keeping our foot flexed anytime we're playing with this. We should know that. Nice tall spine, that downward pressure inside your own body. Any adjustments? Make them. Left hand on top, right hand behind, both hands push to lift, to open, and to revolve. With those twists, it's that up and then open action. How much space can you create across your collar? And your shoulders shrugging in. Can we zip them down and away? Let's return, reset. Any last little adjustments that we need to make here? Tall spine, arms reach, hinge, support, breathe to lift, try to get the ribs up and over the legs, and just travel, different sides, This right here is not a fun one for a lot of us, and I know that. Lisa, especially. I know how much she loves this. So, spend the time that you need getting into this shape, and then just own it. When you are ready to do so, bring yourself out. Maybe a few of those windshield wiper type movements. Or work towards lengthening those legs. And listen to your body. Okay. Today, we are going to go down into our relaxation. If you need to spend any additional time, neck, shoulders, you've done it lots with me, take a few moments, do that, and then join us. Or maybe, as you make your way down, add a little bit of a longer set of twists than what I'm going to do, and then settle. Your choice, okay? It's your practice. So when you're ready, finding your way down onto your back, I'm going to keep my knees together here just for a few breaths. Allow those arms to open. Let's just do a few little tick-tocks. Maybe going all the way or just a little bit. Looking to loosen up, to decompress. As I said, you can stay with this or adjust as required. And when you are ready to find that resting place, do so. A bunch of dynamic movements today. So as we breathe, just allow the body to adjust and settle, feeling out the balance in between the hips, the shoulders, underneath the head. Perhaps we're just stretched in all directions, owning every little bit of space around us. You know, if our low back or hips need a little support here, knees can bend and fall inward, so the soles of the feet come together, knees fall out. Just breathe. It's a really good time to reflect on those things that allowed us to step onto the mat today. Time to appreciate how we were able to move, the adjustments, the options, the challenges, the path that we took. Just melt right there into the support of the mat, the ground beneath you. How much of yourself can you give over to that support? How much of yourself can you let go of? you are free to stay there. Rest as long as you need. If you'd like to start bringing some small movements back in, do it. A shift of weight, wiggle, fingers, toes, shrug of the shoulders, perhaps a nice tall stretch. Maybe a very well-deserved hug. And just a few moments where we roll over onto our favorite side and thank ourselves for choosing to make this a little bit of time in our day. You're welcome to stay there. You're welcome to join me in a seated position, whatever it is that you need. Let's come together with those 3 breaths. Starting with an inhale through our nose. Exhale out the mouth. A little bigger. Release. Fill everything up. And letting it all go. Thanks for sharing your day. Namaste. So as always, I'm Aaron. Love seeing all the thoughts and feedback in the different posting areas. Tag me, reach out to me, whatever it is that you'd like. Let me know if there's something you want to see. You want to do short or long. Thanks, guys. Till next time, have fun.